So you are going to need a ball, any kind of ball. I like to use the 2 balls in a net that looks like this. And you'll also need a strap or something that you can tie around. We'll use that on our legs at the very end. Like a scarf or a dog leash works fine. And then a block. If you have a block, we'll be using a block, and or a blanket will work fine as well. So, good morning. So we'll start seated. You can take a comfortable seat, sitting nice and tall. And you're welcome to sit any way you like. You can cross your legs or sit on your heels. You could even lay on your back for this. Just take these first few moments to arrive together. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Feel your legs touching the earth. Get grounded in your seat. Relax the muscles around the face, the jaw, the tongue. And as you inhale, grow tall, lengthening through the spine. Breathe lots of space in between the ribs. Lots of space around the heart on all sides, the back of the heart, the sides of the heart. And keep that inner lift as you exhale. Relax the shoulders onto the back. And let your inhalation be full. And your exhalation complete. Really push all the air out. I'm going to share with you some words. So just listen. Breathing in. One knows they are breathing in. Breathing out. One knows they are breathing out. Breathing in. One knows the entire body. Breathing out, one knows the entire body. Breathing in, one calms the entire body. Breathing out, one calms the entire body. Breathing in, one knows deep peace. Breathing out, one knows deep peace. Continue to watch your breath. Notice those parts of the body that naturally move as you breathe. The belly, the lungs, the chest. And can you stretch your breath all the way down to the toes, all the way out the fingers, and all the way up to the top of the head, even past the top of the head. And the next time you inhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Let's take this time to set an intention for your practice, to make an offering or a prayer. And we'll start this morning chanting one Om together. Inhale, stretch the arms wide and reach up. And then you'll Om, bring your hands to your heart. And bow your head to your heart. And release your hands. We'll just start with a little more movement here. So inhale, sweep the arms wide, reach up. Exhale, hands at your heart. And two more, inhale. And the next time your arms are up, stay there. Inhale, your arms stretch up. And then you'll twist. So bring one hand behind, one hand in front. Twist as you exhale. And we'll do a little movement with this. So inhale through center. Arms reach up. Exhale, twist. Just one or two more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Back to center. Inhale. And then hands can come down. We'll come to hands and knees. So take the blanket under your knees for a little padding. We'll just move through a little bit of cat and cow and some big hip circles. So spread the fingers nice and wide. Tuck your toes. Start to move with your breath. Inhale, the heart forward. Exhale, bowing in. There's no real right or wrong here. Maybe you get into your hips right away or your ribs, big rib circles. Just kind of do what your body wants to do. It's just like an exploration of movement. Don't really have a plan. Just start to see where your body naturally wants to go and wiggle, and maybe where it wants to pause and breathe. So as long as you're really kind of firm and strong in your foundation and your hands and your feet, then the rest of your body can really explore shape and space and breath. And I really invite you to just kind of make things up here. And then we'll do a kneeling version of sun salutation. So you inhale, stretch the arms up, you're on your knees. Exhale, side bend. So grab one wrist, pull it to the side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, back to center. And then exhale, kind of bow into your cat pose, round, really push the floor away. Inhale, open your heart, cow. Exhale, all the way back, child's pose, just to empty your breath. And then your inhale brings you back to your knees. Inhale, stretch the arms up. This time you'll twist. Exhale, twist to one side. I like to bring the arms down, but you can do however you like. Inhale, arms go through center. Just go at your own pace. Exhale, a little twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, bowing in, cat. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, child's pose. We'll do one more. Inhale, sweep the arms wide, reach up. This time, exhale, hands behind you at your low back. Inhale, open your heart, roll the shoulders on the back, lift your chest. Exhale, release the hands. Take the arms back up on your inhale. Exhale, cat, hands to the floor, bow in. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, child's pose. Stay there for an extra breath. Really let your forehead land. So if you need to make a pillow with your hands or slide the block under there, do that. And just feel the belly press into the thighs as you breathe. Feel the back body expand up to the sky, get nice and broad and expansive. And as you exhale, just see if you can settle just a little more. Maybe let go somewhere, just a little bit. Inhale up to hands and knees. We'll get actually on our back with the strap. We'll do a little bit of leg work with the strap here. So you can have your blanket under you just like for a little bit of padding, or not. And then get your strap, your dog leash, your belt, your scarf, whatever you have. And then come all the way onto your back. Start with the knees bent. So the feet are on the floor, pelvis is on the floor, shoulders are on the floor, and the head is on the floor. And you do want to try to have the natural curves of the spine here. So you'll start, take the right leg up to the sky. You can have the strap around kind of the ball of the foot. You want your leg straight up from the hip, from the pelvis. And reach up as high as you can, one strap in each hand, but then kind of back off a little so you can really anchor the shoulders into the ground. And just a little bend in the knees, especially if you're really tight. Like you can have a pretty good bend in the knee here. I don't want to see a locked knee. And I don't want to see the leg really close towards you just yet. We're going to keep the femur bone kind of right in the pelvis and the hip right here. And just start with a point and a flex. So pull the toes back towards you. And then you point the foot. So I kind of pull the strap up so my foot has something to kind of push into. And then pull the toes back. Inhale, out locking the knee. Try to keep the femur bone anchored down into the pelvis. And point. Really stretch through the whole top of the foot as much as you can. Really point the toes. And then you'll do a little just kind of circle. Feel your femur bone start to slowly circle around in the hip. And that circle can like start to get a little bit bigger. You can kind of play with it. And then go the other way. This bottom leg, I'm keeping it bent just because I'm not super warmed up, but some of you might like to stretch that left leg super long and strong, and that's fine too. So bend the right knee in towards your chest. You want to think about this thigh touching your ribs. You can even grab around the shins here, but we are going to hold on to the strap too. So what I want you to play with is keeping this thigh touching your ribs as you push the leg towards straight. And for a lot of us, it won't go all the way straight. And what I don't want to see is you straighten the leg, but the thigh pulls away from you. So just keep the knee bent, keep this kind of tight little tuck here with the thigh, and then you're only moving like this knee joint and trying to straighten this lower part of the leg. So you can bend, straight. Think about pulling, you're using the strap, you're pulling the leg straight into the hip. So you have this little bit of an angle when you're here, pulling it straight that way. And then back off just a little, back to that more right over the hip. Take both straps into the right hand. And then start to slowly roll, take that right leg out to the side. And be really slow, because I want you to notice when the left hip starts to come up. That's where you got to slow down and pause. Think about using your core to help you stay grounded. So the belly muscles are moving down towards the floor. I want the leg to be pretty much straight out from the pelvis. And some of you might like to have a block for your leg to land on once it kind of gets out to the side. It does not need to come to the floor. Keep pulling the strap towards you and pushing strong into the strap. And then push into the strap, come back to center, inhale. You're going to take it across the body just a couple inches. So you want to keep your right bum down for this first bit. Pull the pinky toe back towards you. Feel that. And then sickle your foot. I usually say don't sickle your foot, but sickle your foot. So turn the toes to the floor and just feel how that kind of gets a little more on the outer leg. And then pull the pinky toe more back towards you. So you're going to play with this little rotation with the ankle. And then push the big toe towards the floor. And then you can keep rolling all the way onto your side there. So go all the way into your twist. If you get here and you feel like it's too much to have a straight leg, it's fine to bend. Or you can stay up here where you're not all the way down. I'm going to spin around. So let go of the strap, keep that right leg across your body, and then roll onto your left side so you're kind of making a pillow with your left hand. So you're kind of more on your side, and then bend that bottom leg so you can grab the toes with the right hand and try to get a quad stretch right here. I just learned how to do it this way. So some of you might stay here and you're working the quad stretch here. Some of you can roll back onto your back and you get a little more of that twist. So you keep rolling onto your back but still holding onto that bottom leg to get the quad stretch. And some of you might be able to grab the strap again and you play with stretching your legs apart. So big, big breath here into the belly, the lungs, and the heart. And big exhale. So to unwind, bend that top leg and just slowly come onto your back and let your pelvis find neutral. So the knees are bent. Just let your pelvis kind of land and feel the difference in the legs. And then we'll get into second side. So you'll take your left leg up to the sky. Right leg is either bent or straight, whatever you did on that first side. And it's fine to kind of start with one and then move into the other when you feel ready. Pelvis heavy, femur bone anchored into the hips, that hip socket, ground the shoulders, push through the skull. Play with the point and flex, so pull the toes back, and then really point strong. So you're trying to get this big stretch through the top of the foot. Pull it back. And then you'll play with your circles. So the femur bone does just these little circles. I like to kind of start little and slowly, slowly spiral it bigger and bigger. And this can be kind of, it could be kind of fast and like a little bit of a swing. I kind of like to do that. And then go the other way. And then bend the knee so your thigh is nice and close to your ribs. And that takes like core strength to kind of keep that tuck. So you're bending the knee and only hinging that knee joint. So you're starting to push towards straight. Pull with the strap straight down into that hip. And then bend and straight. Do that a few times. Ground the shoulders. Often when we reach up to grab the strap, the shoulders like to lift up. So we just have to kind of back off a little bit so we can ground the shoulders. Stay anchored. And then we'll take it out to the side. So bring the leg back to right over the hip first. Reach up as high as you can with the left hand towards the toes. And slowly open it out to the left. Keep this right leg super strong. Pretend you have somebody standing on that thigh bone. Notice when you start to lift. Most of us do at some point. So that's where you just kind of pause, back off a little, ground that right thigh bone even more. And you're pulling the strap towards your hip, not necessarily towards your face. Pull it straight down towards the hip so you can feel like that femur bone really hugging into your core, the core of your pelvis. Once you're there, you might be able to stretch your left hand even longer. And some of you can maybe grab your toes, but no problem if you're not, or maybe you can sometimes, but not today. And then push and pull into that strap to bring it back to center so you're nice and strong. Take the left leg across the midline just a couple inches. So your left hip is still down on the ground. This time let's try this. Bring your left hand into the hip crease, like your thumb into the hip crease. And you kind of push that thigh bone away and even wrap it around. And then pull the pinky toe towards your face, and then put the big toe towards the floor. And just do that a few times so you're kind of working the ankle here. But feel how it affects the whole outside of the leg. And then you can roll into that twist, and if you like that hand on your hip, you can keep that. And again, if it's straight legs too much, it's fine to bend it right here. And then roll all the way onto your right side. So you're making the pillow with your right hand. And I just kind of enjoy this way of getting into it. So I'm going to keep this leg straight, but you could bend it. And then you're trying to grab that bottom leg. So you get that quad stretch with that bottom leg. So I'm pulling the heel towards my bum, closing the knee joint. Thinking about stretching that bottom knee longer, like really growing the knee long from behind the ribs. And this is a nice place to stay, but if you want to roll back onto your back, you can do that here as well. And if you grab the strap, again, you can kind of think about pushing your legs apart, really stretch them apart. And then big breath into the belly, the lungs and the heart. And big, long exhale. And then to come out, bend the knee. Just do it really slowly. Just one knee comes up, then the other. You're on your back. We pause and feel, check in. Maybe notice how the pelvis feels, the legs. Just notice sensation in the body. I'm going to roll to your side and come to seated, just to grab your ball or your balls. So I'm going to use the net for what we're going to work today is the upper legs, the quads, the inner thighs, outer thighs, and hamstrings, and a little bit right here on the outer bum. So I'm going to use this net the whole time, but one ball works just fine. So you're going to start here. We're going to start on our side. So roll into your right side. Take your right leg, the bottom leg straight out, and then the left leg is just kind of a kickstand to hold me upright. And we're trying to work all the way from the outer knee up towards the hip. So stay kind of on the leg at first, and we'll get up a little higher in a minute. So you just kind of pick up your bum and roll up towards the top of the leg and down. And I find myself to be super tender on the upper leg, so just go easy. You're in charge of how much pressure. I like to start with the roll, and then we'll kind of pause in a second. So on these leg muscles, you can go up and down. You can also go across. So play with that too. I am showing everything on the floor, but you could also do the same thing on the wall. So we'll do our pin. So the pinning is when you hold, you kind of push down a little bit. One thing you can play with is pointing and flexing the foot. We did that last week when we worked the shin. Also, bending and straightening the knee will kind of change the effect of gripping my mat. This is intense for me. So bending and straightening, and then you kind of move it into a different spot, pin it down, little pressure, bend and straighten, and long breathing, lots of breath, long exhales. And then eventually start to get a little bit into your outer hip and bum, and this is one of my favorite spots, so it might feel better than the legs. So there's kind of this spot right here. It's kind of like this, I don't know, this little indent where all the muscles come together. That's the spot for me. So if you can find that, you might like that. Otherwise, you just play. Whew. Okay, from here we're going to roll into the belly. Stay on the same leg, so I'm on the right leg. And getting into the quad. So just kind of lay on your belly, and then you kind of army crawl yourself so you can get up towards the knee and then roll back. So you're more towards the hip. So try to keep your core strong when you're doing this one. And play with kind of getting more on the inner quad and the outer quad a little bit. And then you'll find your pin spot. So you find a spot to hold, and then you're bringing the heel towards your bum, and straighten the leg again. And then maybe you move the ball, or maybe you're staying there. So from here, you're going to let your kind of hip come down, And we're gonna start to get into the inner thigh. So you'll just kind of bend the knee and let the ball start to roll on the inner thigh. What I like to do is point the foot up to the sky and then like kind of let the balls roll as my knee goes wide. So kind of go in and out like that. Inner thighs, my inner thighs are super tender. If you find a spot you want to kind of hold, for that one you can just find your spot and then like let your head rest. You could play with the straightening and bending, so when you pin, just kind of changing the shape of your leg will change the effects of the woo. So long exhales are really intense for me. And then we'll get onto the hamstrings. So you'll come onto your bum, sitting, and the ball will come under here. So it's fine to do it on the floor. I like to get a block so it looks like this. But I'll show you both ways. So you kind of pick up your butt so you can roll. I feel like for me it works a little better if I'm just a little bit higher. And this one's where it's kind of easy to kind of roll into the outer hip, turn the toes out, roll into the inner thigh, turn the toes in. Then find your spot to pause and breathe. And maybe you pin the ball, but just kind of move the leg a little bit to the right or in. Whew. And when you've had enough of that, maybe shake out the legs a little bit. Just take a second to pause and kind of notice the difference in the legs. Difference in right and left sides of the body. See if you can notice the difference of other parts of the leg and the side of the body that you didn't even use the ball on. So like my lower leg, I can even feel it all the way into my lower leg. And even up into the right, like, torso area. Because the fascia is connected all the way through the body. So we'll get into second side, starting with the outer thigh on the left. So you're on your bum, kind of on your hip. The leg is straight and flexed. I like to keep it flexed, but you can work the foot, point and flex, and just feel how it changes. Keep going. So be really gentle on this IT band area. It's good to get into the muscles, but just be careful around the tendons. So and then pin, so a little pressure down, bend the knee, and straighten. And it's fine if you feel like that's the spot you need to work, fine. Or you move it a little bit, bend. Straight. Maybe one more. And then if you didn't go side to side, do that a little bit. And then eventually get a little bit higher into like the outer hip. But this is sort of a teaser for next week. We're gonna do the butt and the hips, which is my favorite one. There's kind of like this little spot right there. I hope you find it, where it feels good to me. So from here, you're gonna roll into your belly. For the quads. So this is the army crawl one. You gotta pick up your bum, work your core a little bit, and just kind of crawl yourself back and forth. And you could bend the knee up to the foot up to the sky, or keep it straight even while you roll. Try to go in a little bit on the, well, I'm turning my knee in, but it's a little more of the outer thigh, outer quad. And then turn the foot in, a little more inner. Then you find your spot to pin. So you push down and bend and straighten that leg. And relax your shoulders. Just notice parts of the body that kind of tend to get really tight when we're working this kind of deep way. So parts of the body that don't need to be working: shoulders, jaw, muscles in the face. Are you holding your breath? Start to roll the knee wide so you're getting a little more on the inner thigh. And if you like it kind of like, I like to go inner thigh, back to the quad. You could do that. Or you keep the knee wide and kind of work this way. Long exhales will help, especially when you find like those really intense spots. So then we'll find your spot to hold, and either it's like really passive, I like this one, just let your head land, or you're pushing. You can play with straightening, bending. Relax your pelvis and hips. Feel your belly push into the ground as you breathe. Belly down breathing is one of my new favorite things. The floor is just really great feedback to the belly and the breath, so you can really feel belly pushing down as you take a big inhale. And then your skin kind of moving towards you. You can imagine that your skin is giving you a hug. And then coming up to get into that hamstring, the back of the leg. So either on the floor, kind of rolling, or you take the block long ways. And then for this one, you pick your butt up a little more. Forward and back. Externally rotate, so I'm turning my whole femur bone to the left. Internally rotate, the whole femur bone turns inward. Then pin. You could do the same thing, external rotation, internal rotation. Your butt can be up or down for this part. feel like you're ready, let that go. Whew. That always gets me super warmed up when I do ball rolling. Okay, so then keep your ball nearby. We'll do a little more on our butt, but get your strap nearby and your block or your blanket. So we'll do a little ball rolling on the bum, and then we'll do bridge pose, supported bridge pose. So if you have a blanket, instead of a block, you'll just fold it up. So it's kind of like this square, you know, similar to what a block would be under your pelvis. But we'll start on our back. Just get that nearby. And take the ball under, 1 or 2 balls under your right bum. This is just, again, kind of a teaser for next week. So just a quick little rub out. For the butt, I prefer 1 ball. Again, there's really not a lot of wrong you can do. You want to be careful, like on the bony part, like on your sit bone, on those ligaments and tendons around there. But really play with like the muscles in your butt and trying to get in between the muscles, roll or push. And then just before you switch sides, just a quick pause to feel the difference in right and left bum and right and left sides of the body. And then switch when you're ready, just a little roll or the pinning. So go ahead and keep playing with that if you're still enjoying that. I'm going to talk you into bridge pose. So supported bridge pose, I want you to have the strap around the thighs. So you measure the strap if you have one of these, or you'll just tie whatever you have around your thighs, so that when your legs kind of are apart, they are in line with the sit bones. Some of you might like to have something between the legs. If it's like more comfortable to have a blanket in between the thighs, I really enjoy that. You can get that. It's not super necessary, but if you want to try that, you're welcome to do that. Kind of snuggle that in there. So your legs are completely supported. They have something to fall wide into, and then if you do like the blanket in there, they have something to kind of fall inward into. So you're going to take your nice folded blanket or your block under your pelvis. If you have a bolster, you can use that here as well. I enjoy the block for this on the low setting because this is restorative. We want to feel supported and no work. We don't want to be like holding and making it hard for ourselves. We want to feel completely supported so we can work on our breathing and check in and soften and let our nervous system practice letting go. Practice regulating. And let our nervous system rest. And rejuvenate. We're just breathing there. Breathing in, one knows they're breathing in. Breathing out, one knows they're breathing out. Breathing in, one knows the entire body. Breathing out, one knows the entire body. Breathing in, one calms the entire body. Breathing out, one calms the entire body. Breathing in, one knows deep peace. Breathing out, one knows deep peace. Just coming back to your breath. And slowly remove whatever was under your bum. Be really slow and gentle. Let your pelvis come back to the floor. And really slowly bring the knees towards the belly. Keep your hips really heavy. So you don't want to round your low back here. You want to keep your tailbone lengthening towards the top of the mat. And just kind of let the thighs fall in towards the rib. Not a lot of effort. Take the strap off here if you like. You can have a little rock side to side, or maybe you move into a little more of a happy baby. Take the knees wide. Bring the feet back to the mat. Take them as wide as your mat, and just a slow windshield wiper, slow motion. So exhaling, the knees drop to one side. I like to let my head roll too. I turn my head the opposite way. Inhale back to center. Exhale, knees to the left. Maybe you do that again, or take any last pose that you need for Shavasana. Blanket rolled up under the knees, blanket over the body, eye pillow. So really take like a little bit of time to get super cozy and comfortable so you can really rest. If you have like a way you really love to set yourself up, take the time to do that. So lately I really enjoy the weight of a blanket over my body, just kind of right on my pelvis, low belly. You can also do so this way. So take a deep breath in. And let it go. And relax your fingers and toes. Let your bones be heavy. Skin soft. Mind spacious. Letting go into stillness. Resting in Shavasana. Breathe into your belly, your lungs, and your heart. As you exhale, gently bring movement back to the body. Wiggle fingers and toes, and roll out your ankles and wrists. Take a lazy stretch. And bend your knees, rest on your side. And come to seated as you're ready, sitting tall. Just take a moment to feel the effects of your practice. Breathing in, one knows they are breathing in. Breathing out, one knows they are breathing out. Breathing in, one knows the entire body. Breathing out, one knows the entire body. Breathing in, one calms the entire body. Breathing out, one calms the entire body. Breathing in, one knows deep peace. Breathing out, one nose, deep peace. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. May all beings benefit from your yoga practice, and thank you for joining me. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. Yay, everything worked today. Next week, we'll do Saturday yoga flow, and Sunday hips, bum, and a little bit of low back will be our focus. So I'll see you guys soon. If you're on my Facebook, say hi, because I don't know who's there, so it's nice if you say hi. All right. Also, I graciously accept donations on PayPal and Venmo. Okay, bye guys.